A black family in Missouri quietly owns a business that brings in more than $17 billion a year, yet most Americans have never even heard of them. This is not entertainment or sports, it is a tech empire run from a place with fewer than 10,000 residents, and it was started by a sanitation worker's son who once lost everything. So, how did the Stewards build the largest black-owned company in the United States, far from Wall Street and Hollywood? The answer begins in obscurity, and what happens next will rewrite everything you think you know about generational wealth. David Steward was born in Chicago, but his earliest memories took root in Clinton, Missouri, a town with fewer than 10,000 residents tucked deep in the state's rural heart. Life here was measured in slow mornings and long, steady routines. His family's house stood on a quiet street surrounded by fields and neighbors who all seemed to know one another. Clinton was the kind of place where everyone pitched in and where expectations were shaped by what you could do with your own hands. David's father worked for the city sanitation department. Each day he left before dawn, collecting trash and keeping the streets clean. There were no shortcuts, no prestige, just honest labor that paid the bills and set a clear example for his children. His mother, determined to raise her family away from the chaos of city life, believed that small-town values would give them a better chance. She taught David and his siblings to look out for one another, to work hard, and to carry themselves with dignity, no matter how modest their circumstances. Money was always tight. There were no family handouts, no inherited businesses waiting in the wings. The Stewards relied on steady work and careful budgeting. Dinner conversations often circle back to doing things the right way, to respecting people, and to never expecting anything to be handed to you. In Clinton, ambition wasn't about chasing headlines. It was about making sure the lights stayed on, the rent was paid, and your word meant something. For David, this was the soil where determination took root, quietly preparing him for a world that would demand much more. David Steward's path after college was anything but smooth. He landed his first management job at Wagner Electric in 1974, but the position did not last long. He moved on to Missouri Pacific Railroad, breaking barriers as the first black sales representative in the company's history. Every new role seemed like a step forward, but stability was always out of reach. He joined Federal Express in 1979, where his hustle paid off. By 1981, he was named Salesman of the Year and earned a spot in the company's Sales Hall of Fame. But even that high point could not shield him from what came next. Through the early and mid-1980s, David cycled through jobs, each ending more abruptly than the last. He faced setbacks that do not make headlines, a string of firings, mounting bills, and the slow grind of disappointment. The pressure at home grew heavier. By the mid-1980s, the weight of failed ventures and lost paychecks pushed him to the brink. Bankruptcy records from that period tell the story in stark terms. David was out of options. His car was repossessed, leaving him to navigate job interviews on foot or by bus. The phone stopped ringing. Creditors called instead. For most, this would have been the end of the story, but David never let humiliation turn into defeat. Even at his lowest, he kept selling ideas, services, and himself. The memory of his father's early mornings and his mother's faith and hard work stayed with him. This was the crucible, where every comfort was stripped away and only determination remained. The next move would require more than resilience. It would demand risk, vision, and a willingness to bet everything on a dream no one else could see. In 1990, David Steward opened the doors to Worldwide Technology in St. Louis. The entire company fit into a 4,000 square foot office, barely larger than a neighborhood grocery store. There was no safety net, no line of credit, and no famous backers waiting in the wings. Just a handful of employees, a small team, each juggling multiple roles. and a founder who had already tasted what it meant to lose everything. Every dollar was monitored, every invoice chased. The office ran on secondhand furniture and borrowed time. Payroll was a weekly puzzle, and some months Stewart delayed his own pay to keep others afloat. Vendors expected payment up front, but clients paid on their own schedules. The phones rang, and every call could be a new deal or another reminder of overdue bills. Lunches were often skipped, replaced by coffee and determination. The team worked late, sometimes through the night, patching together proposals and troubleshooting equipment with whatever tools they could afford. There were days when the lights almost went out. Literally, the threat of missed rent or a bounced check hovered over every decision. Still, no one left. The belief in what they were building was stronger than the fear of what they might lose. In those early months, the company's survival depended on grit and faith. Every small contract was a lifeline, but the real breakthrough still lay ahead, just out of reach. Cash reserves ran dangerously low. Each week, the company's future hung in the balance. Vendors demanded payment up front, while clients took their time settling invoices. Every missed call felt like it could be the one that tipped the company over the edge. Then, an opportunity arrived that would test every skill David Stewart had learned in decades of sales. A major railroad was searching for a technology partner capable of handling a complex systems integration project. The contract was large, more than anything Worldwide Technology had ever managed, but it came with a daunting list of requirements and competitors with far deeper pockets. David stepped into negotiations with nothing to offer but his track record and his word. He promised relentless attention, flawless execution, and a level of service the big firms couldn't match. He stayed up late with his team, poring over technical specs, drafting proposals, and rehearsing every answer to every possible objection. When the railroad executives hesitated, David didn't fold. He leaned on relationships built during his years at Missouri Pacific, convinced them that Worldwide Technology, known as WWT, could deliver, and refused to let doubt creep into his pitch. The deal closed in the mid-1990s. The contract brought in not just revenue, but credibility. Word spread quickly. If Worldwide Technology could handle a project this size for a major railroad, they could handle anything. The sudden influx of work stabilized the company's cash flow. Employees who had weathered months of uncertainty finally saw a future. That single contract didn't just keep the lights on. It transformed Worldwide Technology into a real contender in the world of technology integration. Worldwide Technology does not make gadgets or apps for the public. Instead, it operates behind the scenes, handling the technology backbone for some of the world's most demanding organizations. When a Fortune 500 company needs to roll out a new cloud platform across dozens of countries, Worldwide Technology designs, tests, and deploys the entire system, including servers, networks, security, and software. So everything works seamlessly from day one. Their teams architect the blueprint, source the hardware, and ensure the right data flows to the right place, whether it is for a hospital chain, a global bank, or a federal agency. Security is woven through every project. Worldwide Technology builds defenses against cyber threats, protecting sensitive information for industries where a single breach could cost millions or put lives at risk. In the world of networking, they connect thousands of remote offices, build high-speed data centers, and make sure that mission-critical operations never go dark. The company's process covers the entire life cycle, from initial design and proof-of-concept testing to large-scale deployment to ongoing management and support. Clients rely on Worldwide Technology's expertise to integrate technologies from more than 3,000 manufacturers, often coordinating projects that span continents and require absolute precision. It is not glamorous work, but it is essential. When a government agency needs a secure, reliable system for national operations, or when a major corporation needs to upgrade its global infrastructure without missing a beat, Worldwide Technology is the first call. This is the invisible engine powering the digital age. built for scale, reliability, and trust. Worldwide Technology operates at a scale that defies easy comparison. More than 9,000 people work for the company, spread across a network of advanced integration labs, distribution centers, and offices on multiple continents. Each day, teams in these facilities assemble, configure, and test the backbone technology that keeps the world's largest organizations running. The company's reach extends far beyond St. Louis. Facilities span North America, Europe, and Asia, supporting global rollouts for Fortune 500 giants and federal agencies alike. In a single year, worldwide technology teams might deploy secure IT infrastructure for a multinational bank, upgrade cloud networks for a healthcare system, and build out data centers for a government agency, all without fanfare or headlines. The company's integration labs are the nerve centers of this operation. Here, engineers build and test entire systems before they ever reach a client's site, ensuring that every component works together seamlessly. These labs handle technology from more than 3,000 manufacturers, and the pace is relentless. New projects cycle through constantly, each with its own set of challenges and deadlines. The logistics are staggering, with thousands of shipments moving through millions of square feet of warehouse space and teams coordinating deliveries across dozens of countries. Despite this massive footprint, most people have never heard of Worldwide Technology. Its work is essential but invisible. The company's size and reach are not the result of splashy marketing or celebrity partnerships. They come from years of quiet execution, a disciplined approach to growth, and a workforce built to deliver on the world's toughest technology challenges. Ownership at Worldwide Technology doesn't follow the usual playbook. There's no stock ticker, no quarterly calls with Wall Street analysts, and no outside board demanding short-term gains. David and Thelma Stewart built a company where every share, every decision, and every future dollar remains in the hands of the family. From the earliest days, they resisted the temptation to sell equity or take the company public. Instead, they kept the circle tight, choosing to grow at their own pace. This approach meant passing on quick cash in exchange for something far more powerful: control. No outside investors means no dilution. Every contract signed, every new facility opened, every dollar in profit, these all flow directly back to the family. With no shareholders to satisfy, the stewards can invest for the long term, reinvesting earnings into new technology, global expansion, and their own workforce. This isn't just about building a business. It's about building a legacy that outlasts any single generation. The company's governance reflects this philosophy. David serves as executive chairman, setting the vision and values. Thelma, his wife, is an active partner in both the business and the family's philanthropic work. Their children are involved too, not as figureheads, but as working stewards of the family's interests, learning the business from the ground up, participating in key decisions, and preparing to carry the torch forward. There is no public record of boardroom drama or outside buyouts. Instead, the family meets regularly to discuss strategy, succession, and how to balance business growth with giving back. The result is a wealth-building mechanism that's rare in American business, especially among Black families. The steward's model is simple but powerful. Own everything, leverage patience over hype, and make sure every generation is positioned to inherit not just money, but decision-making power. By keeping WWT private and family-controlled, they have created a structure that protects their values, enables bold philanthropy, and ensures that the fruits of their labor remain with those who built it. This isn't just a company, it's a family dynasty in motion. Giving back was never an afterthought for the Stewart family. It was built into the very foundation of their success. Over the years, David and Thelma Stewart have donated more than $100 million to causes that reach far beyond their own company walls. Education stands at the center of their giving. Scholarships, endowments, and technology upgrades have flowed to schools like Harris Stowe State University, helping students who might otherwise be left behind. Hospitals and clinics across Missouri have received funding for new equipment and expanded care, while faith-based organizations have benefited from gifts supporting everything from food banks to youth mentoring programs. This approach to philanthropy is not just about writing checks. David Stewart's philosophy of servant leadership shapes every decision, both in business and in giving. He has written books, including Doing Business by the Good Book and Leadership by the Good Book, that lay out a blueprint for leading with humility, purpose, and a sense of responsibility to others. These ideas are not confined to the boardroom. At Worldwide Technology, employees are encouraged to volunteer, mentor, and support their own communities, creating a ripple effect that extends well beyond St. Louis. The company's headquarters, a sprawling campus in the heart of St. Louis, stands as a regional landmark, not just for its size, but for what it represents. Thousands of local residents have found stable, well-paying jobs there, and the economic impact can be measured in new homes, thriving neighborhoods, and a renewed sense of possibility in a city often overlooked by the tech world. The Stewart's decision to keep the company rooted in Missouri has transformed the local economy, proving that world-class innovation does not require a coastal address. Recognition has followed, but it has never been the goal. David Stewart has served on major corporate boards and received honors from multiple U.S. presidents. Worldwide Technology's workplace culture has earned national awards for innovation and employee satisfaction. Yet through all this, the family has kept their focus on service, quietly building a legacy defined not just by wealth, but by the lives changed along the way. Right now, Black family ownership of billion-dollar enterprises remains rare, yet the Stewarts prove it is possible, even in overlooked places. As private wealth shapes the future of American power, who owns the infrastructure matters more than ever. Dynasties are not always built in the spotlight. Sometimes the quietest legacies change everything. What overlooked stories of generational wealth are we still missing? Share your thoughts below.